on entitled Speculating at the End of Times, and the weather certainly seems to be properly apocalyptic, so it gives the right sort of vibe to do precisely that. This is an event that's come out of a graduate seminar that Michael and I have been running at the University of Naples, and some of the participants are here. And the gist of that seminar and also of this event was to try to think about whether it's possible to sort of go beyond the contemporary stasis of our thinking, right? Because the general feeling that we had is that we are in the middle of a great contradiction, in the sense that on the one hand there is a very, very rapid and radical change at what you could call the material level, in the sense that we have climate change, we have all the things that can be subsumed under the title of the Anthropocene, which is happening regardless of whether we want to or not, and happening at an accelerating pace. We have technological change, we have geopolitical change, but at the same time, our imaginations, and particularly the imaginations of social theory, seems to be stuck in a sort of a internal present and keep repeating the same old things that they've been talking about for the last 20, 30 years or something like that. So our idea was to sort of try to push beyond that, and that's also the sort of the main ethos of this event. Right? We have a very tight program today, and we have a number of very interesting speakers whom we will introduce as we go along. We will have keynotes in the morning with some time for discussion, and then we will have panels in the afternoon. And what we'll try to do is to concentrate most of the discussions to the afternoon panels and try to make the afternoon a bit more participatory than what the morning has been. We have a beautiful venue. We'll hope that we were promised that summer was going to hit today sometime in the late afternoon, but might be that it's already hitting now, so hopefully we'll be able to make use of the terrace. There will be coffee and refreshments around here. You're also encouraged to go down and pick up sandwiches or pizzas or wherever. We do not really have a proper lunch break. We're going to take a number of half-an-hour breaks as we go along, but having such a tight program, we don't really have the space to. But we're sort of envisioning it as a fairly fluid event where people are encouraged to sort of go in and out of the room and maybe socialize on the terrace, go down and get something to eat, etc., etc. Michael.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Michael Saleh. I'm a media scholar at the University of California, Irvine, and as Adam has said, I've been here since about January, teaching with Adam. Mainly, I just want to thank all of you for coming. I've had the pleasure of getting to know a few of you. I look forward to talking with more of you as we go. I want to thank Adam in particular, because though my name is on this as a co-organizer, this is really just a Promethean effort on Adam's part that has put all of this together. You're here because of his energies, and I'm really, really grateful for that. I want to, at Adam's request, emphasize that we do have a tight schedule. We will be moving things along as best we can. There's always going to be time for talking and questions and arguing and all of that, but enjoy the ride, and I really am eager to get to know more of you. I'll leave it at that.
And the ride will end with a drinks and dinner buffet on the terrace around 7:30 or 8 or something like that. So you can keep that in mind as a sort of a. I think that's it from our part for now. If you have practical questions and issues, you can always talk to me or to Camilla, who's there, or also to Guido, who's running the venue, who's outside here. There's a Wi-Fi network. It's called Riot Studio, and the password is Riot Studio. It's written with small letters. Anyways, for Wi-Fi issues and things like that, please consult Guido or Francesca, who are out there in the bar. I wanted to make a last announcement before I pass over the microphone to our sponsors, so to say, because we had the great blessing of being funded by the Association of Internet Researchers, who have made this event possible, or at least more probable, to use terms of speculation theory. And we're very, very grateful for that, of course. Before I do that, I want to make one last announcement, and that is that this event is also not really part of yet, but it's a sort of dress rehearsal for a research center that we're forming at the department, where we were selected for what's known as a Dipartimento di Eccellenza, so the in the spirit of excellence, which now rules our times, the Italian government, in all its wisdom, selected our department as an excellent department and gave us a lot of money. And we're going to use that money to put up a research center called the Southern Center for Digital Transformation. And the idea is to look at digital transformation in sort of a broad perspective, from the perspective of the South. We're being, of course, the original South, as you know, the Gramsci's whole notion of Southern question started from us. But in the context of that, we are now hiring 5 postdocs, and the announcement should be online by Monday, I think, and we'll also send them around on the email list, etc. 5 postdocs, 5 two-year postdocs to commence in the fall at our center. And we'll also have an ambitious program of visiting professorships, and we'll be hiring assistant and associate professors in the coming years. So please keep this in mind, and maybe perhaps spread it in your networks, and if you have any people that you might consider, or if you yourself might consider applying for a visiting professorship or even a permanent position, then please do talk to me about that. Okay, so once again, thank you very much for coming here, for braving the rain and the flight problems and the nasty taxis and everything else. And with that, I'll hand over to Nick, who is here as an official representative of the Association of Internet Researchers.
Okay. Thank you, Adam. Good morning, everyone. It's really fantastic to be here. This is a terrific venue to spend a day of thinking and talking. My name is Nick John. I'm at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem in the Department of Communication and Journalism. And I'm here, well, I'm very lucky to be here, but I'm here in my capacity as the Vice President of the Association of Internet Researchers. Tamer Lever is the President of the Association. He lives in Perth. He hopped onto the internet and found out that it would be a 67-hour round trip. So he delegated me to make the 3-hour flight from Israel to Italy, and I had to think very hard. It was come to Napoli with pleasure. So the Association of Internet Researchers, or AoIR as we call it, is a scholarly association of mostly academics, a few professionals here and there who study the internet in a variety of ways. I mean, if I say study the internet, that's a rather large field. Many of the members of work in departments of communication or other departments in social sciences faculties, some humanists as well. At our conference, which I'll say a word about in a second, we mostly see works presented that are qualitative in nature, not only mostly theoretical, critical. And in our conferences, we're concerned with issues of inequality and representation, I think it's fair to say, as they play out on the internet. The association has over 1,000 members. Some of you may be members. I hope you are. Our mailing list reaches about 7,000 people, so if you're not on it, hop on it. But like I mentioned, our main activity is our annual conference, and recent themes have included decolonizing the internet, materialities of the internet. The theme of our conference in Philadelphia later this year is revolutions. So, so when Adam proposed that we join in this day, we were very keen to do that. It's very clear that the issues that we're going to be talking about here are key to AoIR and to the members of the organisation. Our conference normally attracts around 500 to 700 people, an awful lot of graduate students. It's a very young and vibrant conference. People who come to the conference say that it's the best conference they've been to. People come back and back and back. And that's something that we're very proud of. A few years ago, it was decided that we needed to reach, though, people who weren't necessarily coming to our conference. And so that was where the idea of Flashpoint Symposia came from. And in fact, the first one was held in 2019, not far from here, in Urbino. We then planned one in Brazil in 2020, but I don't know what you were doing in 2020. I was mostly in my apartment. So this is the first in-person Flashpoint Symposium that we've done since the pandemic, and we're looking forward to doing more. So part of the reason that we do this is to expose AoIR to new people who perhaps haven't been to our events or who aren't familiar with what we do. And so here I am, and so here we all are. So I very much hope that that some of you may be able to come to Philadelphia in October. What is maybe more likely is that you'll keep an eye out for the call for papers, because our conference in 2024 will be in Sheffield, which I imagine for most of you is closer. And so I do very much hope that to see you at AoIR events in the future. I look forward to chatting with you throughout the day. Thank you very much, and also thank you and congratulations, Adam, on putting this great day together. And, of course, the workshop to follow. It looks fantastic.
And then we also have a message from Monica Morero, who's here in the capacity of representing the Association of Internet Researchers, but also representing our department.
Exactly.
The Department of Social Sciences.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, estimated colleagues and online internet viewers, I would say, it's a privilege to be a part of this estimated gathering where passionate humans from diverse backgrounds, living and working with their technologies in the Anthropocene, have come together from different countries to speculate at the end of times. Welcome, ciao, here. So my name is Monica Morero, and as Adam said, I'm here in this double capacity as colleague of Adam at the Department of Excellence in Social Sciences, and also a long-standing AoIR lifetime member since 2000, and former treasurer. Keep your receipts, please, even if I'm a former treasurer, so keep it, very important. Keep the receipts. And securing finances for AoIR for about 10 years. So working with amazing people, as you might know, Steve Jones, Nancy Baye, many, Leopoldina is here. He also has meeting amazing people at the AoIR conference, so I really recommend you to go if you have the chance. Federico II, our university is my home, AoIR is my home. So the common commitment of these international communities together to exploring the interdisciplinary implication of internet research is invaluable. So I'd like to thank AoIR and in particular my university and particularly Adam and all the colleagues that have put together this effort today in all their capacities to really speculate today as humans at the end of the time. Of course, the Anthropocene, often described as a current geological approach, marks a time in which human activities have become the dominant force shaping our planet. Who or what is really shaping the future? Are we really in control? Who's really controlling the Anthropocene? Okay. As we continue to speculate and navigate through this epoch, it is crucial that we reflect upon our actions and their consequences on both humanity and environment. So the term speculating, of course, can be interpreted in various ways, so we will try to be provocative also today. In the context of Anthropocene, it encompasses the notion of contemplating, exploring, predicting the impacts of human activities on our planet, ecological systems, and overall well-being. But it also prompts us to ask questions about our role, responsibilities, and potential solution in this era defined by human influence. So our ability to speculate and forecast these consequences make us humans. Okay? So I also think we must consider not only the short-term benefits, but the long-term implication of our choices, of today's choices, and stability of ecosystem, the preservation of biodiversity and well-being of future generations. So I think our speculation should not be limited to economic, sociological, technological, communication, advancement alone, but should encompass the broader spectrum of sustainability and planetary stewardship. So you are the thinkers, you are the innovators here. So in conclusion, what I would like really to say is possibly we need a brave shift as humans, but you could be the catalyst for change. You all, and you maybe asynchronously listen us, you are the catalyst for change. Who's going to do it? Who's going to do it?
That is indeed the question.
Okay, so politicians, companies, academics, intellectual, who's going to do it? So I hope, I'm very much, as Bauman would say, sociology of action, right? So let's engage in a critical discussion, collaborate across disciplines, as in perfect AoIR style, and challenge the existing paradigms. So this is my wish, of course, but with humility. So I really wish you a wonderful symposium today and tomorrow for our synchronous viewers. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Monica, for this introduction. And as you hinted at, we will be doing the symposium today, and then we continue on Friday and Saturday with the roundtable paper discussions. I'm going to be there, Michael's going to be there, some others are going to be there, and also all of you who are interested in staying on for Friday or Saturday or one of the 2 days are most welcome to do so. As it says on the program website, we'll be doing that at the Department of Social Sciences, which is down the street to the right, about 100 meters. So with that, we will immediately pass on to introduce our main attraction, so to say. We're very, very happy to have Leopoldina Fortunati here with us, and Leopoldina was the first person that came to mind when Michael and I were thinking about who do we want to invite for the symposium, because she has been a major inspiration for our thoughts, at least for a very long time, and I think for most of us here in this room. So we're, in a certain sense, almost dedicating the symposium to Leopoldina, and you know, we see this as a bit of a celebratory event. So we're really, really happy to have you, Leopoldina. So please come here and let's give an applause for Leopoldina, right? Yeah, I'll sit on the side here as a sort of a, maybe you can, we have sort of decided to run this without PowerPoints unless it's strictly necessary, because we sort of try to do it a bit retro. So so I don't think you have a PowerPoint, right? You have, no, okay, very good. Così, perfetto.
Allora, thank you very, very much to Adam for inviting me. I must say that, thank you. I'm very, very happy to be here with all of you. I begin by trying to explain a little bit my title, The Here and Now of the Future, Tactics and Strategies for the Appropriation of Technological Availability in the Making. Why is the future connected to the here and now? It is so because the future is not something inevitable. It depends on the choices the society has made are making today, and on their action. Let me recall that the neural area in which the memory of the past lies is the same that nourishes the imagination of the future. And this is the reason for which it is important also to study history, to understand the future. We need to understand what future we want to build, and so to outline an idea of another society, and also to verify the feasibility of our idea. We have here some attempt, Marx first, who tried to understand what kind of society the working class could imagine in its future. And he thought, he articulated a process of struggle in which the capital system was attacked until the ruin of capitalism and at the end the new society. On the ruin of capitalism, the new society will come out. And what people will do in the future society? Contemplating the nature, fishing. And then we ask ourselves why the left is so litigious, because they don't have a clear understanding of what the future is. If this is, the program is distraction, and then and we don't know who does function the world. If tomorrow, because it is not only a question of, capitalism is destroyed by the struggles of the working class. But it is also the possibility that capitalism destroy itself, no? Because there is so many contradictions inside it. But if tomorrow, capitalism destroy itself tomorrow, we will be desperate. How can we work? How can we survive? How can we organize ourselves? We don't have any instrument, vision, shared vision of what to do. We don't have the competence, the knowledge to make the world around, working, functioning. And this is a very big problem. So we need to go back to the, idea, the fundamental idea of socialism, capitalism, etc., and understand about. As woman, I was never convinced about only the distraction part, because we need also to construct. And how to construct? This is the problem. As sociologists, we should be able to, speculate and do in principle and outline a future, no? Understand the trends and be capable to do a program, to do a vision of society. Unfortunately, as sociologists, we have lost the capacity to be predictive. Kant was writing, observer pour savoir, savoir pour prévoir, prévoir pour agir. So, observe to know for predicting, to predict for acting, no? But are we able to anticipate experience, to understand where the world is going? No. Why? Because knowledge itself, scientific knowledge, has been attacked, has been really put under distraction. We are not able to govern, to manage specialization of knowledge. You know, we are from sociology, then we split sociology of communication, sociology of work, and then in sociology of communication, the section, and done. And every type of discipline has its language, its codes, no? And it is impossible to dialogue, and especially to outline an holistic knowledge about society. Especially professionalization. I remember that Kierkegaard was saying, we don't have philosophers anymore. We have only professors of philosophy. And I always said, you're right. It is true. We are professors of sociology, but we are not sociologists anymore. We are not able to understand the world. We are able to produce high-quality knowledge in very small things, but it is not what we need. Professionalization means careers, means publications, means a discipline, a control, a distraction of the real knowledge. No? Because the knowledge is shaped, is continually shaped in a certain direction. We are not free. We are not free to try to understand the world. This is a very precious and a rare situation in which we try to do that without having in mind, I must produce 8,000 words. Introduction, methodology, results, conclusion, reference. This is a rituality. There is a... How can we understand the world with this weight to bring with us continuously? And so knowledge, scientific knowledge, has been hidden in itself. And we don't have the instrument. One of the most prominent operaists, Mario Tronti, in 1980, proposed to see the capitalist system and society as a coin with two faces, like the two-faced Janus, like that. On the one hand, we see the capital. On the other, we see the working class, which is the true engine of the system. As Monica said, who can make the change? We can and should make the change. We are expected to propose and to do the changes. It is the political initiative of the class, call as you like, because we are using all consumed words, no? Very unsatisfactory words, because, of course, the world has changed, and we were not able to forge new, more appropriate words. But it is our political initiative that build the future. Not always, unfortunately. At certain times and in certain places, the initiative belongs to the capital system. In other, to the class, to us. The world we live in and that we will live in is the result of how we manage to develop our power in this relationship. Now, I think that social theory needed to focus on 4 points. The fate of bodies after the introduction of digital technologies, the reproduction sphere that was always misunderstood, the future of wage, about which Alessandro and others will talk specifically, and the meaning of the political meaning of digital technology, the fate of bodies. It took to me 30 years to understand really the political meaning of digital technologies, because digital, and a day I said, oh, I understand now, because there is a lot of smog, ideological, rhetorical smog about digital technologies. They present themselves always in a mystified way. Take everything in the internet, take Facebook, Instagram, no? They propose themselves, but we know, it is well known this, they propose themselves as a function, as a service, as they are enterprises. In the analogical world, the commodity had a brand, and it was clear. Also the nature of the commodity and the nature of the brand. With the internet, nothing is clear. It is clear that Facebook is an enterprise, not maybe to us, but a lot of people do not understand this. Because, why? Because there is not, it is not clear the relationship between the enterprise and the user. It's really mystified, it's really hidden. But what I understood after 30 years of studies was the political meaning of these technologies. In the 70s, after the struggle, the feminist struggles of the 70s, all the indicators on communication did not show any gender difference. This means that women had been able to restructure the communication field, to consider communication as a field, a political field of struggle, and changed the way in which men and women and men were talking. So all the indicators, the turn, who was beginning the communication, etc., all the indicators. Then, this in the 70s, in the 90s, at the beginning of the 90s, digital technologies arrived. What happened? That communication became a field in which this differential of power that was destroyed with the feminist struggle became very strong. The computer especially, but also the mobile. If you see in the history of the diffusion of these technologies, if you see the percentage of access, of ownership, of use, you always see the differential between men and women. Why? Because these technologies was designed by hyper-masculine teams of engineers and innovators who didn't have any, how can we say, intention to design technologies for women. They wanted to design a technology for a business. Who could buy these? White, affluent men. These were young. This was their first target. So women had to, try to run out, try to step by step domesticate this technology. But for the women has been a very heavy process. And about computer, we still have differences between men and women because these technologies are not talking to the history of women, but to the history of men, to how masculinity was socially constructed in all these centuries. And why this? So the political meaning of these technologies was to, take women back, put women back, but also and especially to respond to a field, a sphere, the reproduction sphere, where the productivity of women was very declined. So nothing was really working socially at the end of the 80s. The birth rate was falling down terribly. Family was, exploding in a lot of different forms and modes. Sexual identity was completely became another field of struggle and exploded in many different directions. So, and the power of the wage, the male wage, to command and control the reproduction sphere was completely not a weapon functioning. And so these technologies had the effect to make this field working again. But at a big price, through automation, through another layer of dehumanization, etc. And especially the introduction of digital technologies has separated the individual's ability to communicate, inform, etc., from their body. This is the point. And we under-evaluate this. We were enthusiastic. Oh, I can talk. I can write to my friend in the US. I can talk to my grandchildren in Spain. I can do, I'm happy, okay? And you close the computer at the end of the day and you are alone at home. This is the problem. We are a series of things were separated by the body that produced this, that conveyed this thing. And this has represented a terrible isolation that has weakened individuals, all of us. has weakened our, relationship, our friends' relationship, our family relationship, but also and especially our political, trade union, and associative level. Politics need body, not words, bodies in the street, screaming, walking, running, and we must be together with our body. The organization need bodies to trust each other. How can we trust on the computer something that we don't see? We don't know the body. We cannot control all the environment, the context, a lot of things in which the person is put. And these, with Putnam, he received a lot of criticism, but he was right. There was a decline in the political activities. And even today, political parties were in crisis, unions in crisis, everything in crisis. This was a big result for the capitalist system, because this had the power to weaken very much the working class. But the second consequence was a split between knowledge and experience. Adieu, Kant. Kant was saying, experience is the basis of knowledge. We come to know things we experience. Now we pass 8 hours a day in front of a computer or the mobile phone, and at the end of the day, after 8 hours of screen, which kind of life we lived? A second-hand life, not a first-hand life. A first-hand life passes through experience, direct experience of the world. No, we pass through something that filters, that shape a reality. The reproduction sphere, the second element on which social theory should focus is the reproduction sphere. Because everything is changed, and we need to understand what is happening in this system, this economic system. 50 years ago, the sphere of the production of commodities was the dominant sphere, and the sphere of reproduction of labor force was dependent and was a corollario, I don't know in English, corollary to the one. And most of the technological investment by capital was on the first sphere, the production of commodity. In the house, what we had technology resulting from the scarcity, how do you say in English? The waste of, industrial technology. We had the washing machine and these kind of things. Okay. Now all is changed. The dominant sphere in the capitalist system is the reproduction. Is there that women first produce the most amount of value? Because now in this system there are two sources of value production. One is the traditional one, is the value incorporated in the labor force, but the other one is the value that we produce with these new technologies, which represent not, as in the past, the waste of the noble technology of the industry, but they are advanced technology, they are the most advanced technology, and are all spread in the houses. And we all, not only women now, but all the members of the family become the new worker of this production of value. Even children, capitalist system has reintroduced the work of children. Yeah. How can we define a child that stay in front of a computer and do video games for 8 hours a day? Or do other things? He's working, every time. But he's working in which sense? He's producing value for the big five of the internet, with the data, which are produced, etc. The third element, I would be very quick, is the future of the wage. Because the reproduction has become the dominant sphere, the way it exported also in the sphere of the production of commodity the weakness in the labor relationship. And then, because here the housework was not recognized as a work and paid and have a financial recognition, this has, transformed in a lot of types of work, also in the enterprise, the industrial sector, in works for free, not paid very badly, and blah, blah, blah. We are arrived at this situation that now people have to 3 works in order to survive. This is a kind of terrible attacks against us. But what will be the future? I say a thing, but then I leave it to our colleagues to go more deeply inside the question of the wage. Wage will have a future or not? This is the question in my vision. And with artificial intelligence, what will happen? According to Trachtenberg, he's an economist from Israel working in the US, he said that the only jobs that will exist will be those in the sphere of reproduction. All the other jobs will be taken step by step by, artificial intelligence, etc. Or the export of industrial sectors in other countries. But I would really see, for example, a country like the United States, what will happen there, in which there is no protection, there is very few protection towards people. Who will pay for all these people who will not able to work? But then the meaning, the political meaning, the fourth question is the political meaning of digital technologies. I said we have reshaped them, no, by means of intense wave of mass behaviors, otherwise called political initiative with a lowercase p, because they were not seen as political behavior. These are reshaping of technology and people invested a lot of time on doing this. The result is that we have demilitarized them because they were born as military products. We had made them social, affective, communicative, educational, amusing. That is, we made them the opposite of what they were designed for. So we are in them. We are there. We are in the mobile phone. We are in this product because a lot of struggle of mass behavior are incorporated on them. It is true that they isolate us from each other, dehumanize us, exploit us, shape our nervous system and cognitive processes, and force us to be digital citizens. I don't go inside, but it would be another big question. If this is true, it is equally true that we also shaped and used them to communicate with the world, to see the world, to organize our struggle, to disseminate ideas and information created by us, to share feelings and emotion. We must appropriate completely of the knowledge to build this. Because, if in that case we cited before, capitalist system will break, we must be able, to manage this kind of technology completely. And so the sphere of reproduction has become an immense laboratory of social and political experiment, hazards, dreams, initiatives, struggles, and vision. However, domesticating and remodeling digital technologies has required a lot of effort. And even today, women and older adults are behind. Women still are behind with the computer, and older adults is another world about which we don't have time, but we would need to take. Dimmi quando, perché io sono una chiacchierona. Dimmi, io mi stoppo perché I know myself. Allora, the problem is, I try. Quanto ho parlato? Già? Insomma, I stop. The last thing I would like to say is that there is a lot of experiment in order to appropriate this technology, but we need to transform technology as a field of struggle. The left, the Marxian tradition, I don't know, call them how you like, they didn't understand this because the field of technology is in the reproduction sphere that they neither understand. For them it is still invisible, and they don't recognize these struggles that already are made, and also the attempt to build a knowledge about them. Because, for example, there are a lot of attempts, also For example, I think about my laboratory. I said, okay, we need to have robots. And so my colleagues said, okay, we buy now, we buy pepper. I say, no. We buy what? Now, pepper. They are robots, industrial product that you can graciously use. You cannot touch, you cannot enter in the system. A university a university as such has to build their robots. Otherwise, what are we doing here? If we are not able to produce the technology that we use. There is also a kind of, laziness. It's more, convenient. No. And then we went online, we tried to understand. For example, we bought a robot made by an NGO, Brazilian NGO, for children. We bought a 3D printer, very few money, to print by ourselves a robot in Move, which was designed by a French architect who put all the project online, for free. So we needed to do different things. To teach children also at school, like educational robotics, computer. In US, in UK, for example, a very interesting movement started teaching to children how a computer is made and how it can be assembled and programmed. This is what we need also. And the educational robotics, now it doesn't work really in the schools. Why? Because we teach only to students to produce a robot using or an artistic robot or a craft robot or a robot with Lego Mindstorms, etc. And we stop there. No, we need to teach the political meaning of what is robotics in our society. Otherwise, we build future generation which are robots themselves. So we must build an awareness about that. I stop.
Thank you very much, Leopoldina. This is truly a lectio magistralis in the old sense, in the sense that it introduces all the themes in a sense that we are going to talk about during the summer school, during these days, and all the things that you hinted, that you talked about, the politics of reproduction, of technology, and also the economic contradictions inherent in this is things that are going to be explored, I think, by all the speakers today, and also a lot of the papers in the coming days. I would like to invite some brief questions or discussion points in terms of Leopoldina's talk before we pass on to the next keynote. I could see Michael was waving his hand, so please, Michael.
understood well what you said, but I think that, reproduction is really increasing, occupying much more space than before, is occupying also a role, a different role than before, is dominant now, is not corollary to the other. So it is eating the production of commodities. We saw also during the COVID, the houses were the new factories where all people were working in smart working behind a computer, a screen. And so there was this life in which there were no separation between a sphere and another. We're all there, but I think that the most, you're right, we need new words, we need a lot of new instruments to interpret, to analyze, observe, and analyze the situation like it is today. But I think that already we are understanding more now than in the past. Of course, it is a process.
So I think Aris was the first one to raise his hand, and then I think the gentleman down there as well. So please, Aris. No, I think he was slightly quicker than you were, so if you... Okay, so then. Okay, so what? I mean, this is interesting, no? Because I mean, one point, of course, is to say that there is a difference between human communication as mediated by bodies and communication as mediated by screens. And another way of saying it, I remember during the lockdown, also I was reading this Benjamin Bratton's book on COVID, and he said that basically we should just think about a different kind of humanity, no? That's, he was talking about face masks, and he had this quarrel with Georgia Gamben, of course, went out and said that face masks are terrible, and then he said that, we should just embrace this and put on our masks and forget about our face and embrace different types of intimacy, in a sense, right? But you don't seem to be agreeing with that position. You think that bodies are important, right? Yeah. You have to be mediated. So you have to put the microphone.
Yeah. I'm an older generation. I'm an older generation. Yes, I'm an older woman. Of course, it's true everything, but we need also to focus on the most important element and monitoring these, because we need the things Amazon and we stay at home. Some delivering. or we work at home, we reproduce labor power at home. There is a social isolation, very, very, and we see this. For example, women were able in the 70s to be in the street, to make a lot, to manage the public space from which they were ever put away. No? And this is difficult to regain another time. I was very happy in the 2019 when in the strike of women in Switzerland, in Zurich, 5,000 trolley passeggini were with women on the street to, to demand the recognition, an economic recognition for the work they are doing. So, but then the COVID again made all these disappear. Now reconstruct women presence in public spaces is not easy at all. And this is a problem, the problem, because it has a political implication, the isolation of our body.
So thank you for this talk. I think we have great sympathy for your diagnosis of the current predicament and particularly how the field of struggle is changing, the field of politics is changing. But my question is about, you referred a few times to
Yes, I say they because, we are always in a constructive tension with the forces of the left. In reality, the left leave the women alone to struggle about housework. And although we said, listen, if you leave us alone, this weakness will invade also your territory. They didn't listen. This produced a lot of weakness for women and for the class in general, on the whole. This is, we, of course, we are in the left, between the left forces, and what we say that in the political composition of class, we are in the first line. But, until 40 years ago, we were considered by the left as not entitled to be part of the composition of class, just to help the true heroes of the composition of class. So there is this, of course, we should discuss also about the right, what the right is doing, which is very important today, and also about our mistake. First of all, the misunderstanding we had about religion, all our prediction, now societies are secularized, Now religion is coming back with an aggressivity very strong. And the first victim are women. The abortion law in the US, but also, you know, in Russia, the Cyril, the patriarchal Cirillo is everywhere.
Okay, we have one last question at this point from. You want to make an intervention, Monica? Oh, okay. Maybe, excuse me, Leopoldina, maybe we can combine this with the question that came from our disembodied audience on the internet who are following the streaming. There's a question here also about artificial intelligence. What do you think, which I think links up with this. How do you think we best combat what they call the imagined dystopia of artificial intelligence? The fact that a lot of discussions about artificial intelligence are now framed in terms of it taking over or it becoming more intelligent than us and even eliminating us, etc. And this is, of course, there's a hype going on, right? But what do you think also in relation to also Monica's question, what do you think is, Comrade Leopoldina, what should we do about artificial intelligence?
No, I think that I don't have a vision, ludist vision about artificial intelligence, the Moloch that will come, no, because artificial intelligence will be what we also allow to be. So what to do? For example, I proposed a strike of technologies use. We never went inside these. So, but I found that there are some opening to organize these. For example, the 12th of June, there was the women's strike again in Switzerland. And in Lugano, we were discussing about, just before, we were discussing about that. So that day, do not use technologies. It is difficult because we need to coordinate ourselves, for example, the mobile phone, but, take some value. We must reappropriate of the strike is a masculine tool, political tool, but if used by women in the street is something different, because it is also connected to the reappropriation of the public sphere by women. So it is very powerful. So for a day, we block not only housework, but we block also the use of technology. This is a first step. About artificial intelligence, You know, me, for example, I'm trying to understand what it is, in the sense that it is so complex, so diverse, that we are not still able to understand. Also because these technologies, we always, come si dice subire in English?
We just suffer it.
Undergo. We always undergo. We always undergo the last one. Allora, virtual assistant, okay, run to try to understand virtual assistant. Then ChatGPT, run to try to understand. Now we are trying to understand ChatGPT. Tomorrow, another thing, artificial intelligence. Allora, technologies should start from us. Because it is always true what Manford said, this distinction between life technologies and death technologies. There are technologies connected to the army, the military, etc., and are all these, all the technologies we have. But there are also life technologies, which were the technologies produced by women in the Neolithic, so the plate, the glasses, etc. So, because they, you know, it is important that technology start from us, from our need, not from the need of somebody else. So,
okay, so we have another question from Professor Belfanti.
So, kind of building upon what you were saying,
but of course, that capital englobes all the struggle, but you know, we obliged it to transform itself, because the incorporation means also that we are inside, we are the engine of the social change. Of course, until the moment in which we are not able to win completely, the results of our struggle are incorporated, but we also change ourselves. We are very different from what we were. You know, also, for example, the work. You know, we talk a lot about the Great Resignation, and it is very important to understand this. But it is also very important to understand that now a lot of people love the work they do. Why they love? Because they have alienate the work they do. So it is better to love the work than to, you know, dislike the work we do. Of course, this does not mean that we are not exploited, but we live better. And then for those who don't like what they do, the Great Resignation. A lot of people said no. We don't want anymore to work there. In Montreal, this journal Ouvrage is collecting letters by those who resigned in order to understand the motivation and the perspective they have. Why they, because there are a lot of phenomena that we need to understand properly. Of course, on the work of love, we are experts as women, you know, Kathy Leaks wrote about that. But it is, of course, the potential mystification is very high, but we must see also another reality. This process of disalienation, which is also very strong. Of course, for example, material work, the manual work, is still very devalorized in this society. We should talk a lot about that, but we don't have time now. But there are many different aspects of the current landscape about work that we need to understand better. Because a lot of people say, there are several analyses also in the United States about the fact that people love what they do at work, no? And they are exploited more. It is true. They are exploited more. But there is another side that we need to understand better, which for me is the disalienation that is happening. And it is part. So the future society, to come back to our problem, is a society in which we cannot imagine nobody work, but we can imagine that we work happy to work in a non-alienated way. So let us look at this also from this perspective.
Okay, thank you very much, Leopoldina.